tomatoes. This video is going to be about all the different varieties of tomatoes that we have and kind of how I take care of them. So I grow tomatoes mainly for canning. So I want to can tomato sauce, salsa, a pizza sauce, which is a little bit different. And then I also like to do, I just did a chili starter last year, so I'll probably do maybe 6 quarts of that again this year. So that is primarily what I'm using tomatoes for. But we also eat them in things fresh. And I end up with 4 areas of tomatoes. 1, 2, 4 areas of tomatoes. So these tomatoes on this row right here, you can see this whole thing right here, yep, are all heirloom slicer tomatoes. These are mainly because I'm obsessed with seed catalogs and YouTube videos. And so I get all kinds of different stories on, you know, heirlooms. And an heirloom is one that's been around for a long time and been bred true. So Cherokee purple tomato from today and a Cherokee purple tomato from 100 years ago is essentially the same tomato. It's not been bred with anything else. It's got stable genetics. So these are the ones that are my heirloom slicers. And they're going to be bigger for the most part. They're going to have fun stories. They're going to have different colors. I will use them in any of the other recipes that I do for canning, just like a paste tomato, but it's really sunny out. But they are going to have a little more water to them, but I cook mine down in a roaster, so it just takes a little longer for me to do that. So let's see here. Let's take a peek at these guys. This first one, oh, these 2 right here are a new one. Can you see? This is a really bad way of looking at them. These 2 right here are called Mason Marvel PhD, which I thought was hilarious because I have a child named Mason who is a little bit of a bookie nerd, and I thought Mason Marvel PhD was a really good thing. So I only got them because of their name. That's it. Never grown them before. The plants themselves have started off smaller than other ones. I'm not 100% sure that they're gonna be one I grow again, but we're gonna try them this year and see. The one next to it right here, this is a white tomaso, and it actually is supposed to be a white tomato. No, I don't know. Look at that cottonwood everywhere. There's a cottonwood tree in the neighborhood. I've never grown it before, so we'll see how that goes. This one right here that is big and crazy is a pink Berkeley tie-dye. Now, I'm not going to leave my tomatoes like this. Hang on a second. Let me set you back up again. I'm not going to leave my tomatoes big and bushy like this. Here, I'll show you. I'm actually going to single stem trim them because all of these ones are indeterminate. And what that means is they will grow to an indeterminate height. So they'll keep growing as long as you let them. So I have these rope trellises I got on Amazon for like $6. And I tie them up to the fence. And then I'm going to tie this tomato up with 1 main leader. So I'm going to go through here and give this a giant haircut. Watch, I'll show you. So down here, I'm going to cut off everything low to the ground. All that. Gone. As I get up higher, I'm going to cut off the sucker, which I'll show you that in a little bit, but it's the middle branch here. I don't want any of these suckers to grow. That one's going to go. Let's see here. Here's a sucker. That one's going to go. And so if you see here, I kind of got 2 branches going. One right here and one right here. If I wanted to keep single stemming this, what I could do is cut this one off. Is it actually a sucker? I'm going to do that. I can take this off of it. I could actually put this in water or in the ground and it will actually root. And then I can make a new tomato plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep 2 of these because my sister-in-law is having a problem with her tomatoes. Oh, I got 3 good ones. All right, I'm going to put those in water real quick, and then we'll go back. Okay, so when I'm done with it, it's going to look like this. So it's got 1 main stem all the way up. I tied it. I just got some jute twine. I get like rolls of it like this, and I tie it. I give it a little room so it can grow, and if it starts to get too tight on this, I'll just cut this off. By then it'll be taller. And then it'll grow all the way up, and I'll keep doing that. Now, what I mean by suckers, let me find another one. Here's this one next to it. This guy's also a pink Berkeley tie-dye. And if you look at a joint in these, so let's find the main stem, bottom main stem, going up right here. This guy right here is a sucker. I'll show you. See if I can hold the plant and the camera to him. All right, so here is the joint coming up. Here's the branch. That's the branch, main line. This thing in the middle, going in the armpit, sucker. It's got to come off. Same thing here. Main branch, side branch, sucker in the middle. Those all have to come off. This is a really big one. If you look, this is my main stalk. Here's my main branch going up. This huge guy right here is a sucker. Now, I'm not going to rip him. I'm going to cut him with my snips. Hang on. Because I don't want to tear him. But I am going to come in here and just snip him. Boop. And that's the one that I could root if I wanted to. But I already have 3 of these in water right now. I just put 3 of them in their water. So he's just going to be in the compost pile. And then I'm just going to pull him up straight and tie him here. And I'm actually going to trim off those bottom leaves too, because they're going to be more prone to disease. So I'll trim those off. Okay, I have gone through and staked up and tied up the rest of these. I've cleaned up any of those extra suckers. I've gone through and cleared off any of the bottom branches here to help keep them a little healthier. And now they're going to grow up this trellising system with a single stem. That is why they're planted closer together too. I keep mine all about 12 to 18 inches apart. I could not do this if I let them go crazy. You have to prune them or they won't get enough airflow. So this variety is Varsovia. Dr. Weich's, that's an orangey yellow kind of tomato. This is a Paul Robeson. Abe Lincoln. This guy's called Wood's Famous Brimmer. That one's new to me this year. I thought it looked really interesting. Orange Jazz. This one's called Pink Barred Boar. There's a Cherokee Purple. Striped German. And that guy in the end is a mortgage lifter. And I also have one extra mortgage lifter, so I threw it in this bucket right here. So those are all of my heirloom tomatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 slicer heirloom tomatoes in this bed. Okay, across the backyard in this 16-foot bed is where I put my paste tomatoes this year. I've never grown tomatoes. They're up on the second here, on the second tier of this against the thing, because they're very difficult to get at because this is long and I have to climb into the beds. But we're going to give her a shot this year. I've got a cattle panel up here for them to climb on and tie them off to. And I will do these very similar to the slicers, where I will prune them, the bottoms of them up, but I'll probably let these ones get a little bushier toward the top. Once I get them thinned off the bottom for airflow and water, I'll let them kind of take over this whole cattle panel. So I'll prune them to 1 or 2 main stalks maybe, and then these will be all the ones I use for paste tomatoes. So these will be things for sauces. They're the ones that have less water in them, so they're meatier. So I've got a couple of them up here. Let's see how many I got. I have got this. This one is so much bigger. Like, this is probably a 3-foot tall plant. And it's already got little tomato flowers, which means tomatoes are not super far behind. This first 2 are San Marzanos. Those are ones I do all the time, every year. I'm only doing 2 this year because I'm experimenting with some other kinds. Normally I do like 12 of these guys, but that's okay. Also, I have not thinned these out. Striped Roman, and then just normal Roma. So Roma tomatoes I've done before too. That striped Roman I've never done before, but I'm assuming it's very similar. There's actually 2 regular Romas. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here, I have got Amish paste. Got some flowers too. Like that, yeah. And I have 2 of those. Next to them, I have a new to me one. And I'm gonna have to do some more research. This one's staying really short. It might be a determinant. I might have gotten my signals crossed a little bit. It's got a little bit of damage in the bottom down there, so I am gonna come through and clean it up. Yes, I hear you, Eleanor. These are called Betalux though, so that's a new one. And then I've got these two on the end here. They're also a little bit smaller, but they're not very bushy, so I'm gonna keep pruning those ones too. And those are called Italian pear. Yes, do you have something that you'd like to say? Now you're quiet? Now the camera's on you, you're like camera shy? That's Eleanor. Yep. She runs the chicken yard. I hear ya. All right. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 paste tomatoes on this side of the yard. Crazy dog. She hopped the fence. She knows she's in trouble, so she lays on her back. You, back in the backyard. Let's go. Okay, driveway side is where all the small tomatoes live. The first one I've got going here is a sweetie tomato. This is new to me. I'm gonna have to do a little research on it before I start pruning it. I believe it's a cherry tomato. This bed right here has peas in it, so it looks a little bit insane. But behind the peas are actually tomato plants. You can see a couple poking through. There's a couple back there. Oh, I know this is a tomato video, but hello, peas. These are the only successful peas left. Aren't they pretty? Super pretty. Okay, moving on. There's 2 tomatoes behind there. Those ones are the strawberry cherry. They are red cherry. There are 2 right here in front that are sun gold, which is yellow. And there are 2 back behind there. You can kind of see them. They're called blue boar. And they're kind of like a dark, deep bluish red. So I've got 7 of them over here. Skip past all the squashes. And we go over here to this bed. This one is ginormous compared to its friends. Look at, I don't know what it is. Let's see what variety you are. You are black cherry. So I've got 2 black cherries, this one and its little baby neighbor. I have got Sunrise Bumblebee, just one of those. And the rest of these are all called Super Sweet 100. They're a hybrid that grows like crazy. These need badly to be pruned. If you look at this one, like that's a sucker. Look how big that sucker is. It's like a whole nother branch. And you know what? I'm probably going to leave it that way because these, I just look at crazy. These are going to grow up here. And in a month, they're going to be at that crossbar. They'll grow up past that window. Look at huge. They're super fun. So there'll be all cherry tomatoes there. Brent can just come pick them. All cherry tomatoes there. So what did I say? I've got 7 over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 14 cherry tomatoes. And what I'll do with those is we'll eat them fresh. And then I will also go ahead and put them in the dehydrator. I'll have them and put some olive oil and some seasonings on them. Oh, we got a couple blooms going. And then I'll dehydrate them into like little tomato chips. And then they last forever. And then Lori, my sister-in-law, actually has a great recipe where she takes them and blisters them in a frying pan and makes them into like kind of like a sauce dish. Hey guys. All right. So cherry tomatoes, 14 cherry tomato plants. And then because I have serious problems, I still planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more tomato plants. This is the side of my front porch. That's my porch. And they're gonna grow up here. And I did this because I had some left over that I didn't get planted and I didn't have room, so I needed room. So this is called an agrapoli. The one on the other end is an agrapoli too. I have no idea what size tomato that is. I thought it was a full size, but it might be a grape. This one's called a Kellogg's Breakfast. That's an heirloom one. This one right here is another one of those pink barred boars. It was just really healthy and then no one took it, so it had to live here. And then that other one right there is called Aunt Lou's Underground Railroad, which how cool is that? That might be the coolest one I have. Who can say they're growing a tomato in their yard that somebody carried in the Underground Railroad? I think it's awesome. That's how come I end up with so many. So I've got 5 over here.